All right, good morning, everyone. Back at it again with another MLB DFS slate. We were pretty busy yesterday, so that's why we didn't record. Um, just recapping yesterday, it was a very interesting day. Pitching kind of sucked overall. We went with Bassett. He was serviceable, I guess, but we had Chapman and Buxton. Those were our two big plays that kind of got us to cash. Everyone else was okay. What did you take away from yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday slate was a little bit of a shit show because of the weather. It had a couple games postponed, a couple in question, and that's why didn't really get to that Nats Pittsburgh game. That's where he needed to go for pitcher for Josiah Gray, pay down at 7,600, and he got you like 40. Um, Toronto was fine. We got some of the good pieces there. We missed out on Bichette though, which stunk because we played Adames and the rest of Milwaukee, who sucks. They suck against left-handed pitching so bad that they made Suarez look good. Um, I mean, the rest of it was, you know, I mean, Texas and Tampa just continue to drop 10 every slate. I'm just gonna be broke.
Yeah, that was insane. At one point, like you texted me, like, dude, check out the Texas score. It was like 14 to like 1. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, they
And
hit
I
like
kept
back
seeing
to
the,
back to back home runs, and I was like, can anyone stop these guys? Like, I swear they do this once a week.
yeah, it's unbelievable. And they don't even have Seager in the lineup. I think he's still in
Yeah.
the IL. And it's like they're doing that without him. Just wait until he comes back. Buxton hit one out, which was great. It was a 3-run homer. He didn't really do anything else besides that, but I mean, we cashed, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Bishop would have been beautiful,
Hmm.
but and I actually thought for a second we had him. I don't know why, so I'm like, holy shit! And then I like go to my phone. I'm like, oh my god, we have a Domino's. I was like, oh my god. All
Yeah,
right,
I mean, Milwaukee was real let down yesterday.
and I'm still even shocked that Suarez still has a job. It's
Hmm.
unbelievable. Um, All right, let's get to pitching because there's like maybe three total people in consideration. So let me just share this. Um, so Blake Snell projected for almost 50% ownership, which is insane. Luis Garcia projected for 17. Drew Smiley is like my third guy, sort of considering, but I don't really know. What do you think of this insane pitching?
Um, so Snell is cheap, and that's why he's gaining so much ownership, especially for the bats you have to pay up for today. I mean, Toronto and San Diego both look pretty good here. So I get why he's so owned. I do think Garcia is still worth consideration. I think he's more likely to go for 6 innings than Snell, but he doesn't have the same K upside, I guess, against San Fran that Snell does against Cincinnati. Um, I'm not playing Gore 10-5, and I think the ownership isn't getting in there either. So just going to fade that. Smiley, I guess, but I'd rather just play Garcia for 300 more. I'm not playing the Dodgers pitcher, not playing Barrios after his monster performance last game. He's probably going to go give up 5 earned in 3 innings or something. Not playing Walker, Stripling, Corey Kluber. It's like three guys: Snell, Garcia, Smiley, in probably that order.
Yeah, like we were talking about before we started recording, there's maybe like two, three guys, and you kind of just listed them. I guess if you got pretty big balls, you want to play Luke Weaver against San Diego with Tatis back, and they're just coming off, Mexico City. Sure. I mean, I feel like we're just gonna end up going Blake Snell. The one thing I'll say about Mackenzie Gore, he's projected for 5%. He hasn't had one bad start. so far yet. I guess if you want to pay 10-5 for that, there's no, I mean, we won't, but I mean, some people might get to that. And he's, like I said, he's only protected for 5%. So, I mean, you could get to that and just hope the Cubs have like a day off. So I don't mind that, but like if he was at like 10K or maybe like 9-8, I'd consider him more, but 10-5
Hmm.
to me, that's just egregious as hell. All
Yeah, and
right,
the
that was
Cubs total
pitching.
is sitting around 5, so it's not like 3.9 or 4.1 that
Right,
Garcia and Snell are facing.
right. All right, well, that was pitching. That was pretty simple. There's only, like I said, two guys to talk about. Let's look at stacks real quick. Let me share it real quick. So as you see, Toronto, San Diego, Houston, Cubs, and then it's kind of a drop off here. I agree with maybe, yeah, I agree with the first four here. Um, Toronto predicted for 5.8, San Diego 5.3. Is there like another stack that you think isn't getting much love right now that maybe should?
Um, I mean, in terms of ownership, I guess the Cubs at like a 5 run total. I don't think they're going to gain much ownership throughout the day. Looks about 5-ish% as a stack going against score, as we just mentioned. I think they're in consideration as a third top stack percentage, but only 5% ownership. I think Toronto is probably my favorite stack for today against Kluber, and then San Diego will probably be somewhere in the top 4 of the stacks, and then I guess the Red Sox against Barrios, just because I expect him to regress a little bit today.
Yeah, Barrios played the White Sox and went crazy. That game doesn't count. Speaking of that, they finally won a game. Thank
Yep.
freaking God. Um, I don't know what's up with the Dodgers. They're fifth in the stack. That's a nice little pivot for a secondary stack. We talked about Boston already. I kind of like them just against Barrios. I don't really remember much on this Tony Goslin guy, but I think he's like coming back from an injury and he's limited on pitches.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you want to get some Philly bats, there's nothing really wrong with that. I would maybe get to like one or two, maybe just power bats. But I mean, everything else is like what the stack tool has is where it should be. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Definitely, you should definitely go Toronto, San Diego, or Houston as your like main stack. And then after that, you can kind of get a little different with Dodgers, Boston, and like Philly. Or if you want to do something where it's, you know, Toronto and Houston, maybe with maybe a couple Cubs bats, you can definitely do something like that.
Hmm.
I got a feeling we're gonna get to some Boston guys later. That's just what I think. But are there like before we do home runs, are there any like bats that stand out to you right now? Specific like on any top stack or anything, or just anyone in general?
Yeah, so if you're gonna go pull that from each stack to like prioritize, Springer is still 3,100. He's like 500 too cheap. Um, go to Boston. Devers is 4,300, but that's fair. He's projecting fairly well. Verdugo is too for Boston. And if you want to go to Cubs, Wisdom, Swanson, Suzuki, Hap, Bellinger all projects, around 10 to 12 fantasy points here. So I like all of them. Um, I guess if you want to go, I mean, San Diego, you can go Machado's only 3K. That seems pretty low for his upside, even though he's been, pretty meh outside of the last series. And then Soto's pretty cheap too at 33.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the batters tool right now. It's saying Jordan, Devers, Bichette, J Ram, Mookie, uh, Tatis. Yeah, Soto's projecting out well. Springer. Those are just some bats that the batters tool is spitting out that should be really good. Who are these low owned guys? Some guy named Isaiah on the Yankees is projecting out well.
Under Khalifa, that guy.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, 2100.
No,
Probably
thank you.
won't get. Yeah, I was just gonna say we're probably not gonna get to that, but sometimes when I look at the batters tool, I'll see like a guy at like min price is projecting out well. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have looked at that because then he's gonna end up going like over 6. All right, you ready for home runs?
Yeah, I got a couple lined up. So my first one's gonna be from the early slate between those Mets Braves games. Gonna go Lindor. And then I'm gonna go Machado from the Padres, and then Freddie Freeman.
Nice. I'm gonna go with Bregman, Austin Riley, and Kyle Schwarber for today. There's some real
Riley's
big,
definitely going yard.
some big power there.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe I'll be the good luck charm with Bregman for you, considering whenever you say it, he does it the next week. So hopefully today's the day. Um, I think that covers everything. Any last thoughts or stuff we didn't get to?
I don't think so. I mean, if you want to enjoy the Snell Chalk today, hop on board. We'll probably be there. If not, we'll play Garcia. Just make sure to check out the lineup on Twitter and like and subscribe if you haven't already.